Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshita. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I welcome you all for this Brahma Samhita discussions. Today we are going to reach Shloka 35 and see the explanations. Okay, this is text 35. Ekopyasau rachaitum jagadanda kotim yachaktirasti jagadanda chayayadantam andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Translation of the text 35. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. Okay, so we are hearing this Shloka 35, where inconceivable potencies of the Lord are described. So I will read the purport. Krishna is the highest of all entities. In him is an entity which is termed Chit, spiritual, which is distinct from the principle of limitation. By his inconceivable power, he can at will create numberless universes. All the mundane universes owe their origin to the transformation of his external potency. Again, his abode is beyond human conception, since all worlds, limited and spiritual, Chit, exist in him, and he resides simultaneously in his fullness and entirety in all the atoms in all the worlds. All pervasiveness is only a localized aspect of the majesty of Krishna, the Lord of all. Though he is all-pervasive, yet in his existence, everywhere in a medium shape, consists his spiritual lordship beyond human conception. This argument favors the doctrine of simultaneous inconceivable distinction and non-distinction, and knocks down the contaminating Mayavad and other allied doctrines. So here we'll go a little bit more about this purport. You can see the word one by one word. Ekaha, one, api, although he is one, asau, he rachaitum, to create Jagadanda, universes, kotim, millions of universes, whose shaktis, potencies, asti, there is Jagadanda Chaya, all of the universe. Yadanta, within whom, anda antarasta, which is scattered throughout the universe. Paramanu chayantarasta, the atoms, antarastam, situated within, Govindamadi Purusham. So if you see the shloka, he is undifferentiated entity, and there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. So in this shloka, really, relationship between Krishna and his energies are described. And the doctrine of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva is introduced here. Introduced means explained, shown how it works. So Srila Jiva Goswami explains this shloka further, in the sense he expands this show of Krishna's inconceivable potency by quoting from Brahma Vimohana Leela of Bhagavatam. So this is what Srila Jiva Goswami says. He quotes the shloka 10:13:46. Then while Lord Brahma looked on, all the calves and the boys standing them immediately appeared to have complexion the color of bluish rain clouds and to be dressed in yellow silk garments. Now this is moment in Brahma Vimohana Leela when actually Brahma was looking, who are these calves and covered boys? Because I have stolen the original ones. So he thought, which is also another illusion of Brahma. As we know from Acharya's commentary, Srila Prabhupada also mentions in purport that what is Brahma's power to interfere in Krishna's eternal pastimes, in Krishna's eternal associates? Brahma cannot interfere with his powers. So Brahma could not steal the original coward boys. He's stolen the Maya one, manifested from Maya Shakti, as Ravana has stolen Maya Sita, or Agni Sita, whatever you call it. So similarly, so anyway, the idea is Brahma has stolen the boys, and now he thinks Krishna will be bewildered. And then he looked down and he saw all these boys are there with the calves. And then when he looked more closer, Krishna revealed all of them showing Vishnu Rupa. All of them showing that color of bluish rain clouds, yellow silk garments, all they show that Vishnu Rupa, that they are all Krishna's own expansions. So then this is where Brahma was awestruck with inconceivable potency. Because what Krishna did actually is that Krishna manifested for 1 year, which was one moment for Brahma. Brahma took the boys, put there, looked back, and 1 year was gone in Vrindavan, on earthly planet. And for 1 year, Krishna manifested all the boys and the calves which were missing in such a way that they exactly acted as the original one. Same mood, same way of speaking, same feelings, same reactions, same look. Everything completely same, that even their mothers could not recognize the difference. Moreover, because these were Krishna's own expansions, the mother and the cows, they show more affection to these forms than to the original ones. So that is different reason. That's because they had desire to directly reciprocate with Krishna, to have Krishna from themselves. So Krishna fulfilled their desire. But the idea is, look at this inconceivable potency, that Krishna can manifest completely replica, exactly, even better. How can be replica better than original? Well, in Krishna's case, Achintya Shakti is possible. He did it. Excuse me. He did it in such a way that even Lord Balaramji was not allowed to understand the truth of it unless the Leela was over at the end, when Krishna finally showed him. So this is really amazing. This is inconceivable. So Jiva Goswami quotes this example, very amazing. So just we'll read a little more from it. Okay. So now what Krishna showed by that? He showed that these are all unlimited Purusha avatars, who are origins of all universes. These calves and cows, what you see, the covered boys, they are actually Purusha avatars. They are the origins of unlimited universes. This is what Brahma was seeing now. And that was what just struck him, So here, another shloka is quoted, 47-48 translation. All those personalities had 4 arms, holding conch shell, disc, mace, and lotus flower in their hands. There were helmets on their heads, earrings on their ears, and garlands of forest flowers around their necks. On the upper portion or right side of their chest was the emblem of Goddess of Fortune. Now, this is interesting that this emblem of Goddess of Fortune was there to show that these are not just Vaikuntha Vasis, because in Vaikuntha everybody has dark complexion, yellow silk clothes, and 4-armed forms. But here, this particularly Shivatsa mark on the chest shows these are Vishnu's own forms. These are not Vaikuntha Vasis, because he may say that, oh, there's all eternal residents of Vrindavan, all Vaikuntha Vasis. So their spiritual form was there, left behind. Like Brahma stolen their bodies, but the Swarupa was there, or some other explanation you may come to. But no, here is very clearly that these are Krishna's own form. Furthermore, they wore armlets on their arms, the Kaustubha gem around their necks, which were marked with the 3 lines like a conch shell, and bracelets on their wrist, with bangles on their ankles, ornaments on their feet, and sacred belts around their waist. They all appear very beautiful. So Srila Prabhupada explained this, actually. This is what Prabhupada says. These Vishnu forms appearing before Lord Brahma all possess the mark of Shivatsa and Kaustubha gem, which are special characteristics possessed only by Supreme Lord. This proves that all the boys and cows were in fact direct expansion of Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, not merely his associates of Vaikuntha. Okay? Vishnu himself is included within Krishna. All the opulence of Vishnu are already present in Krishna, and consequently, for Krishna to demonstrate so many Vishnu forms was actually not very astonishing. But for Brahma was astonishing, and for us is astonishing. When you heard that Leela, this is very amazing, that Krishna assumed form of all of them. This Shivatsa mark is described by Vaishnava Toshin as being a curl of fine yellow hair on the upper portion of the right side of Lord Vishnu's chest. This mark is not for ordinary devotees. It is a special mark of Vishnu or Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada explains. Then Prabhupada continues actually this is a shloka, and then there will be also explanation. Thus Lord Brahma saw the Supreme Brahman, by whose energy this entire universe, with its moving and non-moving living beings, is manifested. He also saw at the same time all the calves and boys as the Lord's expansions. So this is what was very amazing, that this is Bhagavan. He can manifest all these forms. He can just do it on the spot. He can just display his opulence in such an amazing way that it is inconceivable. Therefore, is used word Achintya Shakti. Those who read Srila Prabhupada's books, they are very familiar. Achintya Shakti. Prabhupada said the bird can fly, and we humans, we cannot fly. Why? Because the little bird is empowered by Krishna, Achintya Shakti, given inconceivable potency to fly. And we cannot do that. We have to buy a ticket for an airplane. We cannot fly. So Prabhupada said that Krishna given to different living entities different inconceivable powers. Fish can live under the water. We cannot. Fish is empowered, Achintya Shakti. But here we see the ultimate Achintya Shakti. I mean, Lord displaying these forms, displaying everything. Everything comes from him. So we'll hear more of that. So another example Srila Jiva Goswami gives, that the Mother Yashoda looking at the mouth of Krishna and seeing universes within the mouth. This is inconceivable potency. This is another amazing display, I mean, who would think of that, This is really extraordinary. So, okay, I have one purport just before we come to Mother Yashoda. The purport I forgot to read. Srila Prabhupada says in this comment, later Krishna would show Brahma how he expands himself into everything as his personal pleasure, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Now this is very important to understand nature of Krishna Leelas. Hladini Shakti Rasmat. Krishna has a transcendental potency called Hladini Shakti. He does not enjoy anything that is a product of material energy. Now this is the thing. Krishna does not enjoy anything which is product of material energy. Brahma therefore would see Lord Krishna expands his energy. Now this is display of spiritual potency. These calves, the boys, the gopis, the gopas, the leela, everything is display of the Chit Shakti or Hladini Shakti. Transcendental pleasure potency, spiritual potency. It's not Maya Shakti. Maya, Krishna is no enjoyment in Maya. It's inferior energy. It's a lower taste. We are finding something very great. Oh, what a tasty restaurant. I went there and ate some paneer masala, something, paneer parota, something. Devatas are looking at us, what they are eating. They won't touch. Remember Ganga marrying King Shantanu, and there was condition. When you cook for me, look, I'm Devata, when you cook for me, should be on ghee, for example. And of course, the standard of cooking for Devatas, compared to us. So same thing, material nature altogether is inferior energy. Krishna has superior energy. Everything is there. Oh, we like, Krishna will not eat these nice mangoes. Krishna's mangoes have no skin, no seed, no bad portion. And season is 12 months a year. So what you are going to offer to Krishna to attract him? What you are going to offer that he doesn't have better? What do you have that he doesn't have? Because this is Urdhva Moolam Adashakam. This is perverted reflection of spiritual world. Everything he has better. And when he comes to material world, he brings his mangoes with him, to say poetically. He brings his spiritual potency. Why he should enjoy material potency? Yeah? We are depending on sun, on the moon, on the rain. We are depending. Okay, Krishna say, okay, let me sit under the tree, and shade should be there and should be cool. And in material world, one day happens, one day does not happen. And in the meantime, when you want to sit under the tree, 375 millions of mosquitoes come, and disturb you. But when Krishna comes, no Maya can interfere in his leelas. Everything is manifestation of his spiritual potency. So the shade is there, the moon is there, everything is adjusted immediately. Parasya Shaktir Vividayava Shruyate. So this is how it works. Okay, so Srila Jiva Goswami quotes this amazing display of universes in Krishna's mouth. But it's not only that all universes are in Krishna's mouth, but Krishna was also in his own mouth showing the universes. This is a puzzle. This is something the brain stopped processing. It's a difficult one. Difficult one for devotee. What is the difficulty? Achintya Shakti. God can do that. Is there anything that God cannot do? It's not possible. You know, the famous Leela, they went on challenging. Western people think they're very smart. Logician, they want to prove that there is no God and how God is just kind of some mythology or some... when you can't explain something, then you use the word God. This is how scientists define God. What is that called? The gap filler, something like that. When you get stuck, you can't explain something. God's will, by God's power happen, like that. But it's not like that. So they challenge Prabhupada that if God is all powerful, God is all powerful. He can do anything. He can do anything. So can he create a stone that he himself cannot lift? So if you say yes, then God cannot lift the stone, so he is not all powerful. And if you say no, then he is not omnipotent. He cannot do anything inconceivable, no? But this Tarka Pratishta. By logic, you can't understand God. Simply by your logical puzzles. You want to kind of, show you're smart, So what Prabhupada said, yes, God can create stone, which he cannot lift it up. And next moment, his power expands and he can lift it up. So what you do? It's like this. God can do whatever he wants to do. And your logical puzzles doesn't stop him being God. It's just meaningless. It's just ridiculous to push on that kind of. So here, the Srila Jiva Goswami shows this amazing Leela as a display of inconceivable potencies of the Lord. Okay, so this is from Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no beginning and no end, no exterior, no interior, no front and no rear. In other words, he is all-pervading. Because he is not under the influence of the element of time, for him there is no difference between past, present, and future. He exists in his own transcendental form at all times. Being absolute, beyond relativity, he is free from distinction between cause and effect, although he is the cause of and effect of everything. So, another place, Srila Prabhupada explains this. For Lord, there is no Maya also. For Lord, there is no Maya. That there is no material potency. That is his potency. For us, there is a problem. Material potency, bewildering us. But for Lord, there is no bewilderment. Like cloud covers our vision. Cloud is created by the sun, by evaporating ocean, water, and the cloud is created. So cloud cover our vision. So we say, sun is covered by the clouds, but sun is never covered by the clouds. So Maya has no power to cover the Lord. No, that's not possible. Has no influence on him. So for him, for powerhouse, electricity we use sometimes for heating something, sometimes for cooling. But for powerhouse, it's the same electricity. There is no distinction. There is no difference. So that's another things to understand. So this is amazing, no? That Krishna shows in the mouth all the universes, and then Mother Yashoda saw herself in Krishna's mouth, looking at in his mouth. That means he is looking in his mouth, and she's seeing universes in which she is looking in his mouth. And then what she's seeing in the mouth, how she is looking at all universes in Krishna's mouth, and that goes unlimitedly. What do you do with that, Mr. Scientist? It's unlimited, and that's exactly what Krishna shows. And anyway, that was in Vrindavan. This play of Achintya Shakti is unnecessary, unwanted. So Mother Prabhupada said like this. Mother was for a moment bewildered by this. Oh, is he God? What is this? No, must be Vishnu is protecting my boy. That's all what I understood. Close your mouth. Go and play. Forget it. Just didn't want to think of it. Yeah, that's their Bhav or Vatsalya Rasa, more powerful than all this Aishwarya Jnana Tattva, display of that Krishna's opulences. But idea is, it is a spiritual, inconceivable potency of the Lord. So this is what Srila Jiva Goswami explained this, and Shrutis, they confirm this. How can universe be in Krishna and Krishna be in the universe at the same time? So he quotes immediately Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Katha Upanishad also. I think 3 or 4 Upanishads has this shloka, if I remember. Katha Upanishad definitely has. Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He is smallest among the small and greatest among the greatest. Among the great. This is what it is. Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Of all the small things, he is the smallest. And of all great things, he is the greatest. So Prabhupada again explained this, related to this lila. Then Mother Yashoda wanted to solve this problem. All right, because the boys complain, he's eating the mud. He's saying, no, I'm not eating the mud. So there's all commotion. So Mother Yashoda said, okay, easy to solve this problem. Open mouth and immediately prove we have. We have scientific proof in your mouth. All right, show your mouth, open your mouth. I want to see. And when Krishna opened the mouth, the mother saw innumerable universes are within the mouth. This is Krishna. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Krishna enters within the universe, but at the same time, millions of universes are within his mouth. This is the explanation, the greater than the greatest and the smaller than the smallest. See this one. And this is amazing, no? Krishna is so great that all universes are in his mouth. How big he is if the whole universes are within his mouth. And then he enters into every universe, every atom of it. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Must be like that. No? And this is Bhagavan. And there is no contradiction. No? You cannot say, if I say, who is the tallest here? And I don't know, somebody, Srinivas Krishna raises his hand. And I say, okay, who is the shortest? And again, Srinivas Krishna raises his hand. How is it possible? It's not possible. It doesn't work. No? He cannot be at the same time the tallest and the shortest. But Krishna can be. This is Krishna. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada again comments here. Just like he was playing, just like ordinary child. But when Mother Yashoda wanted to see his mouth open, whether he has eaten earth, dirt, he showed within the mouth all the universes. Not that Krishna ate mud, some earth. He ate all the earth that exists. All the universes he swallowed. So this is Krishna. Although he is playing just like ordinary child, ordinary human being, but when there is a need, he shows his godly nature. Okay, this is the point. This is where people get bewildered. How this small boy Bhagavan, but Bhagavan can anytime display his unlimited potencies. There is no limit. Just like Arjuna, he was driving the chariot, but when Arjuna wanted to see his universal form, immediately he showed him. Thousands and millions of heads and weapons. This is Krishna. No, he is driving chariot of Arjuna. Means he is inferior to Arjuna. Position is definitely inferior. He is driving a chariot. And what are you, charioteer? Yes, I drive all the universes. You want to see? Yes, Vishwarupam. Just display. And this is Bhagavan. There is no condition, There is no limitation. So next, Srila Prabhupada explained this. Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Look at this. If the personality of Godhead did not possess both limited and unlimited energies, he could not be called omnipotent. Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The Lord is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. He is smaller than the smallest in the form of living entities. Look at this explanation. Because this is Vibhinamsha, expansion. We are also energy of the Lord. So smaller than the smallest in the form of living entities. And greater than the greatest in his form of Krishna. If there were no one to control, there would be no meaning of conception of supreme controller, Ishvara. So jivas are there. Controller of what? If we are all God, then the Sanskrit word Ishvara has no meaning. If we are all God, you are lording over whom? Over yourself. Then everyone is Lord. Meaningless, no? Ishvara. Ishvara means controlling whom? Okay. Just as there is no meaning to a king without his subjects. If all the subjects became king, there will be no distinction between king and ordinary citizen. Thus, for the Lord to be the supreme controller, there must be a creation to control. The basic principle for the existence of living entity is called Chitvilas, or spiritual pleasure. Now, this is again essential. Why do we exist? We are also of Chit potency. We are also spiritual by nature. Why do we exist? To give pleasure to Krishna. Okay, so this is the Chitvilas. The omnipotent Lord displays his pleasure potency as the living entities. The Lord is described in Vedanta Sutras, Anandamaya Abhyasa. He is by nature the reservoir of all pleasure. And because he wants to enjoy pleasure, there must be energies to give him pleasure or supply him the impetus for pleasure. This is the perfect philosophical understanding of absolute truth. So you see this, Anor Anihan refers to the jivas also. This is another explanation. Another time, Srila Prabhupada explains like this. Similarly, one may think of Krishna as smaller than the smallest. That is also a kind of greatness. To be smaller than the smallest, that's the greatness. Why? Krishna can manufacture this gigantic cosmic manifestation, and he can also manufacture a small insect. In a book, one may sometimes find a small running insect smaller than a period. This is Krishna's craftsmanship. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He can create something greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest. Now, human beings have manufactured the 747 airplane, which according to their conception is very big. But can they produce an airplane as small as a flying insect? This is not possible. Actual greatness, however, is not one-sided. One who is actually great can become greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest. So you see, Vedic explanation is mind-blowing. It's true. Okay, you can make big thing, but can you make small thing? God can make anything. He can, and then you will see another quote says, and then he remains in medium size, Krishna himself. Why? Because he acts as a human, and this is considered in Vedic term medium size. It's not the greatest and not the smallest, medium size, human form. He maintains and displays all these opulences simultaneously. Okay, so look at this. Although Krishna is the Virat Purusha, with a form as big as the universe, he can also come within your room as a small deity. Now Prabhupada explained, deity is also Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, because the Mahato Mahiyan, the greatest of all, he appears in your room as a small deity. This is Prabhupada explained. God is bigger, the biggest and smaller than the smallest. That is his greatness. So when Lord assumed form of deity, that's also his amazing power. How is it possible? That means in our deities now all the universes are inside of their mouth. True. Anoraniyan. Everything is there. No? So you could see that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur finishes the purport here that this argument favors the doctrine of simultaneous inconceivable distinction and non-distinction. Means simultaneous, inconceivable, distinction, non-distinction means achintya beda beda tattva. Okay? And knocks down contaminating Mayavad and other allied doctrines. Okay? So simultaneously one and difference. So Srila Prabhupada explained the same thing. Therefore, there is a certain class of philosophers, they are astonished simply by seeing the great magnitude of the Lord. But there is a smallest, Anoraniyan. These are much smaller than the atom magnitude, but that is beyond our experience. Therefore, we say Nirakar. Now Prabhupada links this. When Lord assumed the smallest form, you can't even see, you can't conceive it. Therefore, Veda says Nirakar. Nirakar means no form. This is another explanation. This is amazing, no? Yeah. Nirakar means we cannot calculate the akar, the actual form. Form is there, akar is there, but it's so small, Nirakar. This is the meaning when Veda says. Then not that there is no form, but it's anor, aniyan. It is so small. You cannot measure it. You cannot conceive it. You cannot comprehend it. So Nirakar does not mean that he has no form. It has form, just see. Then they say that the point has no length and breadth. The point, they say there's no length and the breadth of the point. Similarly, the soul has everything, length and breadth and the form, no? But it's so small. Within that point, it has got his head, leg, everything, conscious, everything there. Now, how big is the soul? What is the size of the soul? Shatabhagasya, you tip point of the hair you cut on 10,000 part, 10,000 part of the tip of the hair. So this tiny point, according to science, has no breadth, no length. But within that point, there is a hands and legs and form, everything is there. And because it is beyond the calculation of human knowledge, therefore they are disappointed. Nirakar, Nirakar, Nirakar. Not Nirakar. It has Akara, but our sense is so blunt that we cannot calculate. So from different angles, you see how Prabhupada explains this concept. So we know that. Prabhupada goes on. There are two parties of philosophers, generally known as monists and dualists. The monists believe in oneness of the absolute truth and the living entity, but the dualists believe in separate identities of living being and the absolute truth. Above these two classes of philosopher is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, or the truth of simultaneous oneness and difference. Now this is when Prabhupada explains this, that many times Prabhupada say, we have no problem with impersonal concept. We know God has impersonal aspect as a Brahman, we know he has local aspect as a Paramatma, and we know he is Bhagavan, personality. Vadanti tu tattva vidas, tattvam yajnanam advayam, yajnanam advayam. There is no difference between them, they are absolute, spiritual. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdati. But Bhagavan aspect includes all others, therefore is the ultimate, the best, the ultimate one, the highest realization of God. So here, the Prabhupada said, they are philosophers who are monists, they are philosophers who are dualists, but we are understanding both. We understand that there is impersonal aspect of the Lord and there is personal aspect. So it's called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Achintya means inconceivably, simultaneously one and different. Like we are all humans, but we are all different simultaneously, correct? You may say, we are all Indians. Okay, but again, because you are all Indians doesn't mean that you are Narendra Modi. You are not him. We are all Indians. So you go today in the parliament and you speak. No, they won't allow you. Why? I'm Indian, Modi is Indian, we are all same. But it won't work like that. So simultaneously you are same, but you are different. So in daily life we can experience this. This is not so difficult to understand. Problem is that people misunderstand and they misuse. Even devotees, they get sometimes confused. And in funny way, they are trying to adjust Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva means that Lord is simultaneously equal and different from his energies. That's what it means. From his spiritual, tatastha, or external energy, material energy. Lord is simultaneously equal and different. That's what it means. You can't speculate, use this for something else. When we were traveling this week in books, we came to Nagarkoil. And we went for darshan, famous, this Namanita Krishna temple, no? Very famous deity, Krishna holding balls of butter in his hands, a baby Krishna in Nagarkoil, famous old temple. So just when we came out of the temple, we heard somebody blasting on Mahamantra on the loudspeaker, chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. So we went there automatically, just behind there was some ashram, very near there's the ashram. So we came into ashram and we saw this pujari, oh, Hare Krishna, but he had 3 lines on forehead, So what is this, it's something unusual. And you can see he has our japamala, this all printed with holy name, this yellow malas with red letters, this bead bags, And come in, please come in my ashram, come for darshan. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, he's shouting like this. I say, okay, he knows devotees, he's chanting Hari Bol, I've been in Mayapur, I spent 1 month, I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm chanting Hare Krishna every day. But still he has 3 lines. So we came on the altar. You remember, you're laughing. We offer pranam, we look at the altar, and you see, like this. The Shankaracharya's picture and Prabhupada picture at the same level, at the same, time, I mean, on the same platform, And down you have our picture of Parampara from Mayapur Prajas, and the same down, just next to it is Shankaracharya's Parampara displayed, And we are all looking, what to think of this. I mean, I never seen anything like that, And the fellow is saying, Prabhuji, Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Simultaneously Vaishnava and Mayavadi. That's bogus. You can't use this term Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. It's simply Maya, it's Mayavad. There's not Achintya Beda Beda Tattva, So it's very clear what is it, And also that amazing, another aspect, Srila Jiva Goswami points from this shloka, is that not only Lord expands in unlimited forms and living entities and as the greatest as the smallest, but he has this potency to enter into everyone's heart, in everyone's atom, in every single atom also. So he immediately quoted from the, Srila Jiva Goswami quotes from the Upanishads, Gopaltapani Upanishad, Sau Sarva Bhuta Atma Gopala. And Gopal is the soul of all beings. Eko Deva Sara Bhuta Shugudaha. He is one person, but resides within all living entities. Now, this is another amazing thing, no? That Lord can expand in so many forms, in so many places, so many forms, and still remains the same person. Same consciousness. Means he knows everything. He's in your heart and in my heart, and he knows both of us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. That's for sure. So, this is inconceivable potency here in this shloka also mentioned, and Srila Jiva Goswami immediately just shows few shlokas from the Shastras. Now Srila Prabhupada further explains Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his partial representation as the Super Soul, measuring not more than 9 inches, expands by his potent energy in the shape of universal form, which includes everything manifested in different varieties of organic and inorganic materials. So this is explanation how the Lord, Paramatma, expands into universal form. The manifested varieties of the universe are therefore not different from the Lord. So Achintya Beda Beda Tattva means that Lord is not different from this universe. Means that Lord is not different from his material manifestation, from his material energy. Just as golden ornaments are different shapes and forms, are not different from the original stock, reserve of gold. So gold is gold, whether golden ring or chunk of gold or golden mine. The quality is same. Okay. In other words, the Lord is the Supreme Person who controls everything within the creation, and still he remains the supreme separate identity, distinct from all manifested material creation. He controls everything, but he remains distinct. In the Bhagavad Gita, he is therefore said to be Yogeshwara. Everything rests on potency of Lord Sri Krishna, and still the Lord is different from and transcendental to all such identities. So whatever material manifested from the Lord, he is detached from it, he is not diminished by it, he remains controlled and remains detached of it also. In the Vedic Purusha Sukta of the Rig Mantra, this is confirmed. What is confirmed there? That of all these manifestations, Sahasra, Shirsha, Purusha, thousands, and his legs are spread everywhere, his hands are everywhere, his eyes are everywhere, his heads are everywhere, his mouth is everywhere. All these innumerable forms, remember we were discussing what forms? His Vishnu Tattvas, Jiva Tattvas also are included. Remember, the Lord has potency to see through the Jiva's senses also. So everything, he is seeing through my eyes now. So I'm not alone, both are seeing. It's amazing, it's inconceivable. So this is confirmed in Purusha Sukta. This philosophical truth of simultaneous oneness and difference was propounded by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is known as Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Brahma, Narada, and all others are simultaneously one with the Supreme Lord and different from him. Now in this purport, second now, meaning of Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. First is meaning that Lord is not different from his material energy, Vishwarupa. Now, he's not different from Devatas, Jivas. No, we are all one with him in quality. Again, what is example? Same example. Just as gold ornaments are one in quality with stock of gold, but the individual gold ornament is never equal in quantity with the gold stock. Now, here, distinction is explained. Quality, we are equal to Lord. We are eternal, God is eternal. Nityo, Nityanam, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. We are conscious, God is conscious. But He is supremely conscious. I'm conscious of this body, but God is conscious of everybody. Or everybody, as you like. So this is the difference. So the quality is same, quantity is different. But if you go in detail, even quality is not exactly the same. But the point is that essentially there are similarities, because if there is complete difference, then there is no relation with the Lord. If you say absolutely Jiva is absolutely different from the Lord, then how will Jiva understand the Lord? How will talk? How will find common ground to exchange relationship? Because Lord has feelings, we have feelings. Lord wants to love somebody, we want to love somebody. Lord knows everything, we want to know everything. We have that thirst for knowledge, like that, for pleasure, and all these things. Why? Because there are some similar things on which a relationship is based. If we are completely different from the Lord, there's no question of relationship. So that's also not there. The stock gold is never exhausted, even if there are innumerable ornaments emanating from the stock, because the stock is Purnam, complete. Even if Purnam is deducted from the Purnam, still the Supreme Purnam remains the same Purnam. So Prabhupada explains the difference between Jiva and the Supreme Lord. That although they are equal, they are not equal. They cannot be equal. This fact is inconceivable to our present imperfect senses. Lord Chaitanya therefore defined his theory of philosophy as achintya, inconceivable, as is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita as well as in Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya's theory of achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva is the perfect philosophy of the absolute truth. So aham brahmasmi, I'm Brahman. Oh yeah, aham brahmasmi. No? Yes, I'm Brahman. Means I'm energy of the Lord. Brahman in Vedas is a definition for three things. Brahman refers to the absolute truth, Supreme Lord, refers to Jiva, and refers to Prakriti also, material energy. So when Brahman is used, like Atma, Atma refers to soul, to body, and to mind also. So you have to see context. You have to see, Aham Brahmasmi, I'm God. But where is the power of God? What is the meaning? Where is the power of God? It's not possible. How can I be God? What is the meaning of that? This is misunderstanding. So I am having spiritual qualities like God. I'm spirit, I'm not matter. So God is spirit, I'm spirit. In that way we are equal. But his powers, his capacity, his consciousness, omniscience, omnipotence, that is not possible to match by the Jiva. That's not possible. Okay, so these are all this explanation. Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining this Achintya Bheda from different angles. You see, now we got it. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva means Lord is simultaneously one and different from his energies. The living entity is different from material elements. And Supreme Living Entity, Personality Godhead, who is creator of material elements, is also different from individual living entity. Okay, you follow? Yeah? Jiva is different from matter. And Lord is different from the Jiva. This philosophy is propounded by Lord Chaitanya's Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Everything is simultaneously one with and different from everything else. So not that only Lord is one, but Jiva also is different from matter. Okay, Jiva is different from the Lord. Lord is different from matter. But Madhvacharya explained this Pancha Vedas. He explained 5 differences. That Jiva, the Lord is different from Jiva. Okay. Jiva is different from another Jiva. Jiva is different from matter. Lord is different from matter. And matter is different from matter also. Because they take different shapes. So Pancha Veda Madhvacharya explains. Okay. So here also you can see now this same concept is explained. The cosmic manifestation created by Supreme Lord by his material energy is also simultaneously different and not different from him. The material energy is not different from Lord, but at the same time, because that energy is acting in different way, is different from him. Similarly, the individual living entity is one with and different from Supreme Lord. This simultaneous one and different philosophy is perfect conclusion of Bhagavata school, as confirmed by Kapila here. So, yeah, so this is important to understand, that Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva refers to this. Okay, so here also, another quote explains same thing, that Lord Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, they are separate, but at the same time they are one. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are one. Many times in Vedas you'll find Brahman, Shiva, Vishnu are one. They are one, they are controllers of the universe. But again, they are different. By even very names are different. Then why you call them Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva? Why don't you just call Brahman? Because Brahman has his function, Shiva has his function, Vishnu has his function. Creation, maintenance, and destruction. They are distinct in their activity. And they are distinct in their powers. Brahma is Jiva Tattva, Shiva is Shiva Tattva, and Vishnu is Vishnu Tattva. Again, from the Tattva point of view, they are different. The powers are different, activities are different, names are different, forms are different, but they are all one. Why they are all one? They serve the same purpose. They have the same source. They are all manifestation of the Lord. From Lord's left hand came his Vishnu expansion. From his right hand came Brahma, and from his forehead came Shiva. That we were discussing in the when the creation took place. No, so this is also explained. This is the philosophy of simultaneous one and difference. And then a famous example, Brahma Samhita. Milk and yogurt are simultaneously one and different. What is yogurt? Milk is transformed. That's all. There's nothing than the milk. You put milk in the pot, and if you add some culture or you put tamarind or maybe green chilies, it turns into yogurt. So what is yogurt? It's nothing else than milk, but it's now transformed. Both are milk, but the yogurt has become changed. In order to achieve real peace, one should see everything and every living entity, including Brahma, Shiva, as non-different from Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is independent. Every one of us is an expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead. What Brahma, Shiva? Even I'm an expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but doesn't mean I'm avatar. This is crazy, you know. These accounts for unity in diversity. They are diverse manifestations, but at the same time, they are one in Vishnu. Everything is an expansion of Vishnu's energy. No? So Prabhupada gives example of fire is in one place, while the heat and light produced by fire act in many different ways. So you have a fire, and from fire comes light and heat. So light and heat are not different from the fire. But simultaneously, they act differently. They also act independently. No, they have their own characteristic. Light and the heat are one and different from the fire. There is no light and heat separate from fire. So like that. So again, electric powerhouse. Okay. Now, although Madhva Acharya stresses this differences aspect, this Panchabheda, nevertheless, he also accepts the similarities between Lord and his energy. And here is quote by Acharyas, his Brahmatarka commentaries on Vedanta Sutra, when Madhva Acharya uses the word also, Abhedas Tattva Deva tu. Visheshasya, Vishishtasyapya, Abhedas Tattva Eva tu. So, it's not that absolute duality. No, there is some similarities also. No? So here Madhvacharya also accepts this. So Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining that it's good to understand a little bit from different angles how this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva works. Okay. So many quotes are there. What do I do? Maybe I will not read all of them because there are many quotes there. Okay, so another way of explaining this Prabhupada uses is the I'll not read because so many quotes are there. Anyway, we are reading Prabhupada's books daily, so you can figure out. Another way, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, Prabhupada explains that Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and he quotes, Vadantas tu Tattva Vidas, Tattvamyash Jnanam, Brahmati, Paramatmati, Bhagavan. They're all one and different simultaneously. So in that sense also works this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Works with Vishnu's avatars. All expansion of Vishnu are one with him. Again, they are different in the sense they have different forms, different purposes, they manifest different powers, different energies. Again, in that realm also is used Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So like that, that all avatars are one, but they display different rasa, different pastimes in different way. Now, again, spiritual master position also. Sakshat Hari. Sakshat Hari. Who is Sakshat Hari? Guru. Guru is Lord himself, directly. Sakshat Hari. Nasamasta Shastra. All Shastra says that Guru is to be worshipped as good as God. But Guru is not God. Prabhupada defines Guru very beautifully in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Shastra says that Guru should be worshipped as God. Acharya Mam Vijanyam. Guru should be worshipped as God. Prabhupada says, Guru is supreme personality of servitor Godhead. Servitor Godhead. Means Guru is not God. Guru is servant of God, but should be worshipped as good as God. Why? Because he is representative of God, honor should be given, and he can, meeting Guru and meeting Krishna gives you same result. Love of God and no more birth and death. Moksha. So in that way, and because Krishna is in Guru's heart, fully manifested, because his heart is pure, again, he is representative of God. He is called Bhagavan because he carries Krishna in his heart. So, in that way, we understand that Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva may refer to that also. Okay, so now what is the point? The point is that Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva comes from these Vedic statements from Vedanta Sutra that Shakti, Shaktimator Veda. So this is, I'll just share the screen, show you a few more quotes here. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada explained this, Shakti, Shaktimator Veda. Okay, the Brahma Sutra states that according to the principle of Shakti, Shaktimator Abhedaha, the living entity is simultaneously one with and different from Supreme Lord. Qualitatively, the living entity and Supreme Lord are one, but in quantity they are different. According to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, philosopher of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, the living entity and Supreme Lord are accepted as one and different at the same time. So now this is based on this Shakti, Shaktimatora Vedaha, that the Shakti man, the possessor of Shakti, and Shakti are not different because it comes from Krishna. Spiritual, Tatastha, and Bahiranga, all are coming from him. So they are not different from him. But simultaneously, they are different because they display differently. So another time Prabhupada says like this, Shakti, Shakti Matora Veda. This is the Vedic injunction. Shakti means energy, and Shakti Mator means person who has got the energy. So Abheda, they are not different. You cannot differentiate between energy and energetic. So this is very important. You will see why. Because the Mayavadis misuse this. That oneness means absolute oneness. But it's not absolute oneness. No, it's never absolute oneness. New York, where we are. Okay, we are here. Okay, look at this. Prabhupada explains. Just like sun and the sunshine, they are the same. There is no difference. But the molecules of the sunshine particles, that is not equal to the sun. This truth we shall always remember. Achintya khalo ye bhava. Therefore, these are incommensurable. We are simultaneously one with Krishna and Radha and at the same time different. Okay? So this is another explanation. So in conversation, Prabhupada says like this. Vedic states Om, yes. So at least we can understand from your Bible that God said, let there be creation. So this is sound, and there is creation. God and his sound is non-different, absolute. Now look at this aspect. God and his sound is not different. No? We are chanting Hare Krishna. God and his sound not different, but simultaneously different also. I say, Mr. Ginsberg, this sound and I, a little difference, Prabhupada said. But God is not different from his energy. Nitya, what is called Shakti, Shaktimator Abhedaha. Shakti, energy, and Shaktimata. Shaktimat, the energetic, they are non-different. Just like fire and heat, they are not different, but heat is not fire. You cannot differentiate heat from fire or fire from heat, but fire is not heat. Allen Ginsberg said, well, the sounds Krishna. Yes, it's not different from Krishna. It's not different from Krishna. No. Therefore, the sound, Krishna, under all circumstances. Yes, all circumstances. But it is a question of my appreciation or my realization. That will depend on my purity. You see that? Now, we are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna is dancing on our tongue. But that depends on our purity and on our appreciation, our understanding. No? Otherwise, this Krishna sound and Krishna non-different. Therefore, if we vibrate sound Krishna, then I'm immediately in contact with Krishna. If Krishna is called spirit, then immediately I become spiritualized. Just like if you touch electricity, immediately you are electrified. And the more you become electrified, more you become Krishnaized. So when you are fully Krishnaized, then you are in that Krishna platform. Tyaktva deham punajanmanaiti mam eti konte. No, so this is explanation how Krishna is not different from his name, from the sound vibration. And that refers also to Krishna Katha, Krishna Leelas, hearing about Krishna. All is on spiritual platform, no different from Krishna. Krishna's book, Prabhupada said, this is Krishna. Giving Srimad Bhagavatam to somebody means you have Krishna's deity you are putting in his house. It's not different from Krishna. How powerful is all this proper understanding? And Krishna is acting, Krishna is changing life of people in this way. So, as Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur finished the purport that these concepts of Achintya Bheda Bhedatattva defeats Mayavad, Prabhupada also all the time, they're blasting all the acharyas, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, they blasted this Mayavad concept because it kills Sambandha Jnana. It's a blocking to develop your relation with God. You will never develop Bhakti if your Sambandha Jnana is not clear, if you don't understand that we are simultaneously one and different from the God. If you think we are God, we are absolute, we are all one, then there's no question of advancement in spiritual life. It's blocked. It's not possible. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains, he has got multi-energies, and because he is spirit, complete spirit, therefore his energies are also spiritual. Shakti Shaktimatora Veda. There cannot be any distinction between powerful and the power. So here it is clearly said that Saevedam Sasar Jagre Bhagavan Atma Maya. Bhagavan created by his energy. It is not that Bhagavan is finished after his creation. The Mayad philosophy is that everything is God. Therefore, there is no separate existence of God. Everything is God. Whatever you see, all universe, everything is God. So how can God be Krishna? You are limiting. Not only that form, everything is God. This is how they try to explain. That is impersonalism. But here it is said that Bhagavan Atma Maya, he created this cosmic manifestation by his energy. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Purnam eva avasishyate. So what is the point? The point is that Prabhupada is explaining, although he expanded his energy into universe, still he remained individual. So Krishna can be in the form with particular name, with particular color, with particular characteristics, qualities, and he can simultaneously expand into everything and be everything. Everything is God. So Krishna is also God. Krishna and the universe, okay, everything is God. But simultaneously, if you see, who is the source of everything? Who is the Shaktiman? Who is the source of all possessor and controller of all Shaktis? By whose desire all the Shaktis are diffusing, joining, manifesting, expanding, transforming. Then you understand that this is Krishna, this is Bhagavan, this is understanding. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained his Jaiva Dharma also about Shakti Shaktimatora Veda. According to statements of Vedanta, Shakti, potency, and the Shaktiman, Purusha, supreme person who possesses all Shakti, are non-different. Work shows the influence of Shakti. Work shows the influence of Shakti. When something happens, some activity. That is, all work is accomplished only by the means of Shakti. However, the desire to do work is an indication of Shaktiman. Now you understand how nicely he's presenting. Work, when something is done, creation happens. That is work of Shakti. But the desire to do work is indication of Shaktiman. By whose will? Ichcha Shakti. By will of the Lord, creation took place. Saikshata, Eho Bahu Sham Prajayata. By Lord's desire, everything is, and what is moved? Lord glanced, and what is glanced? Is Shakti. Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti manifested, Chit Shakti, everything is moved. So when you see the work, when you see something created, manifested, that is, work is indication of Shakti. But the desire, the will to move it, the power of pushing that Shakti into movement, that is indication Shaktiman. The mundane material world is the work of Maya Shakti. All the jivas are work of Jiva Shakti. Jiva Shakti means Tatastha Shakti. They say, Shastra described that Tatastha Shakti manifests all jivas. And the Chit Jagat, spiritual world, is the work of Chit Shakti, spiritual potency. Bhagavan inspires the Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Maya Shakti to be engaged in their respective activities, but he himself is still nirvikar, unattached and unaffected. No? So this is, and the shloka immediately quotes from Nyaya. Nyaya means Vedanta Sutra. Shakti Shakti Matora Veda. Supreme Personality Godhead, the master of all potencies, is not different from his potencies. So this is explained. And he quotes Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Svabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. The Lord's potency of knowledge, power, and action share his own nature. They are not different from him. Svabhaviki. See that? Svabhaviki. Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. And these potencies are also spiritual potency, Jnana potency, Bala and Kriya. Jnana potency, Lord Vasudeva, Krishna himself is presiding deity of it. Bala, potency of strength, or it's Lord Balaram in charge. And Kriya Shakti, Srimati Radharani is in presiding deity of this potency. This is one of the divisions, one of explanation. Then he quotes again from Vishnu Purana. Just as the illumination of fire, and Prabhupada quotes this in his purpose also, as the illumination of fire which is situated in one place is spread all over, the energies of Supreme Personality Godhead Parabrahman are spread all over the universe. So you can say, Savra Kalao Idam Brahma, everything is Brahman, because these are all energies of the Lord. Everywhere are his energies. But doesn't mean that everything is God and that he lost his individuality. This is the catch. All the time this Mayavadi gets stuck on this one point. It's difficult to explain. So therefore shlokas are quoted. Look at this, Markandeya Purana, Devi Mahatma is explained of what potency of the Lord. O king, now I'll describe to you the glories of the goddess. By her power, she sustains the entire world. Okay? She is the potency of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Maya. She is the potency of Lord Vishnu. From her comes transcendental knowledge. You and many others have attained transcendental knowledge by her grace. Now we understand that from Chit potency, the Durga expands also. And from Chit potency, it's Radharani's name. Durga is also one of the names of Radharani. We were discussing on another time that aspect. So here also, the transcendental potency is here called. The Vishnu Maya. It's a Chit potency. It's a spiritual potency, from which her shadow becomes the Durga, the material potency. Okay. Narada Pancharatra is quoted again. The Supreme Lord is one. Still, he is manifested in two forms. One form is female, the potency of Lord Vishnu. The other form is male, the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Eka Isha, Pratamato, Dvida Rupo, Babhuva Saha, Eka Srir Vishnu Maya. One is female form. So we are Gaudiya Vaishnava. We worship Lord as a male and a female. Lord and his potency. We never worship Lord separately. We don't worship Krishna alone on the altar. Krishna is always with his potency. Always you will see Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayan, Lakshmi Narsingha, or you see Gaunita, or see Krishna and Balaram, but Jagannath, Baladra, Subhadra. But we don't have this Krishna alone standing. Because we know the intrinsic nature of God is that he is supreme enjoyer. He enjoys his potencies. Hladini Shakti, Swarupa, Chit Shakti, Swarupa Shakti, Srimati Radharani is always with him. So this is our understanding. So look at beautiful shloka, no? Eka Sri Vishnu Maya, Yapumam Eka Swayam Vibhu. And the second one form is he himself, the greatest of all, no? So this is okay. So now you may say the ultimate explanation of Shakti Matora Veda is explained by Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas in Radha Krishna Paranavakritri Hladini Shakti Asmat Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Puradeha Bhedam Gathautau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Jyoti Suvalitam Nome Krishna Swarupam. So this is ultimate explanation of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva and Shakti Shakti Matora Veda. The loving affairs of Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestation of Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Okay, the loving affairs. The Madhurya Lila is manifestation of spiritual potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, previously they separated themselves. From Krishna expansion comes his own transcendental potency, Hladini Shakti. This is from Krishna's own transcendental body expansion. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So Shakti, Shakti Matara Veda. The Lord is in two forms, but now again he became one. Originally it was one, he expanded into two, and now again he became one. So this is our own Gaudiya Vaishnava explanation, Shakti, Shakti Matara Veda, and this is really the ultimate explanation. Okay, so now there is to understand this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, we must understand that our philosophy is called Shakti Parinamavada. Shakti Parinamavada. We are explaining differently position of Lord in relation to Shakti than what Mayavadis explain. Mayavadis explain Brahma Parinamavada, Brahman Parinamavada, or Vivartavada as they call it. So I'll show a few slides, just two more minutes, just a little bit explain this. I will show what Prabhupada says. Shakti, Shakti Matora Veda, Brahma Sutra. Just like sun is Shaktiman, energetic, and the sunshine is the energy. So long the sunshine is there, the sun is there. There is no difficulty. When the sun is not there, the sun's energy also not there. Similarly, Krishna, so long is within us, within the body, Krishna's energy, two things are there. The Mayavadi philosophers do not accept the energy. Simply they accept energetic impersonal. So this is the problem. They said that Brahman expands us into everything, so he has no individuality. But we say, no, he's not Brahman, he's not Bhagavan. It's his energies are there, and he remains Bhagavan. They say, no, he is all the energy is Bhagavan. So no individuality. This is the thing. So they don't accept Shakti. We must accept the energy and energetic. Both, Shakti Parinama. So Prabhupada mentioned Shakti Parinama there. Shakti means energy. By the energy, everything is going on. Again, he is speaking same like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. By work, you can see the energy. The energy is going on. The energetic is aloof, just like sun. We can very easily understand. Example is just before us. The sun is there, sunshine is there. And in the sun globe, there is a sun god. But we, so-called scientists, we are studying sun from 93 million of miles away, and we are taking very pride that we are studying the sun. If you study sun, why don't you go there? Go there and enter into the sun planet. This is a material thing. And what to speak of spiritual things? So Prabhupada explains that even this you cannot conceive. No? Unless you come personally on the sun planet and see the sun, you can't actually understand. From distance you are studying. So same thing, this Brahmavadis. They are understanding the energy of the Lord, Brahma Jyoti, and that's it. They are not going beyond Brahma Jyoti. They are not going to the Vaikuntha planes. They are not seeing personality of Godhead behind. So the sunshine is working because the sun globe is there. The sun god is there. Similarly, the material energy is working. Cosmic manifestation made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. These are the 8 ingredients of material manifestation. So these 8 material elements, they are energies, separated energy. Binna prakriti ashtada. Now you see, Gita is so clear. Binna prakriti ashtada. Doesn't say here Advaitam. No, it says they are separated energies. They manifest separate qualities. They have their separate purpose. The way they display their potencies is different. Therefore, we can differentiate. Even material energy is sometimes something sweet comes from that mango, and sometimes something bitter comes, Karela. From the same earth is manifested differently, different flavor, different smells, different things. So, because energetic is there behind the energy, just electric power. We are using electricity, but behind this electricity power, there is powerhouse, and there is engineer who is producing the power. The rascals that do not understand this, they simply see the power. But behind the power, there is a power maker, the source of power. They do not understand it. Therefore, Krishna comes and says that I'm the power maker. I'm behind this power. Now, this is reason for avatars, to show, no, I am the Aham Sarvasya Prabho Mata Sarvam Pravartaya, you know? So this is very interesting. I really appreciate this amazing point, no? Therefore, Krishna comes to show, not only Brahman, I am the Brahman, Param Brahman, Param Dham, Pavitram Paramambam. Arjun indicates, Krishna, you are that Parabrahman, no? Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the basis of Brahman, personality. Personally he comes in avatars. Okay. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami in Sandarbhas, he explains this. Ekam eva tat parama tattvam swabhavika chintya shaktya. So these are chintya shakti and all the shakti parinamavana. The param tattva, absolute truth, is one. He controls inconceivable potencies intrinsic to his nature. These potencies manifest his swarupa, personal form, his tadrupa, vaibhava, immediate opulent expansions, the jivas, the living entities, and pradhana, the sum total of material ingredients. Now this is very nice. This is what means absolute truth. Absolute truth means this four things. Bhagavan himself, his swarupa, okay? Tadrupa vaibhava, his immediate opulent expansion, means all his avatars, his name, form, qualities, pastimes, dham, everything included there. Then jivas, living entities, and material nature. Tell me something that which does not come into this four category. Conceive of anything in your mind, the object, the term, the point, the living being, non-living being, that you cannot categorize in this four. These only four exist as the absolute truth. And they all come from that Swarupa of the Lord, from his own form. So this is the example given by Srila Jiva Goswami. That inner core of sun planet refers to Bhagavan's, his own Swarupa. The surface of sun planet refers to his own, how he said, Tadrupa Vaibhava, immediate opulent expansion, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, all the avatars, everything. And the rays emanating from the sun planet, Jivas are the rays of the body of the Lord, and the light of sun planet reflected from another surface far away. That is the Maya Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti. When sun rays reflects into surface of water or some shining object or glass or mirror like that. So, his Swarupa is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. His transcendental name, abode, associates, paraphernalia, Tadrupa Vaibhava. The jivas, both the unlimited conditioned souls and eternally liberated souls, are his infinitesimal spiritual sparks. His illusory energy, Maya, and the gross and subtle material elements created by Maya are known as pradhana. These four manifestations are eternal, and so is the oneness of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So this is the concept here, that all these four exist simultaneously, is absolute truth and come from the Lord. It is, so how is this possible contradictory? It's impossible for human intellect to accept this proposition because the intellect is limited. But within the paradigm of the Achintya Shakti of the Supreme Lord, such apparent contradictions easily harmonized. No? So, just show you a few slides and then we can, proceed. Okay, so this is the Shakti Parinamavada. Here you can see in Vedanta Sara by Sadananda Yogindra, it's described the definition of Parinam. The perception of a different object, when a real object takes another form, is called Parinam. You are seeing something different. The real object takes another form, it's called Parinam. Perception of different object, when there is actually no different object, is called Vivarta. For example, immediately is given an example. Parinama is transformation of an object. Example, yogurt to milk. Yogurt is formed from the milk. So parinama means you are seeing the yogurt, which is transformation of milk. And this is understanding. So this is the same object, but it's transformed. Milk is transformed into yogurt. This is called parinama. But what is vivarta? You are mistaking rope for a snake. You are seeing rope, think it's a snake, but it's not. It's a different object. It's not the same object transformed. It's your illusion that this is a different, that this is the same object, that this is a snake. No, it's a different object. So it's called vivarta. Okay, so this is first definition. What is parinama? What is vivarta? Now you see here, there are different philosophers in the past. So Yadava Prakash, who was guru, first they was teaching Ramanujacharya and Bhaskara, they say that Brahma parinamavad, the Brahman itself transforms into the universe. So they maintain there's impersonal understanding by that Brahman himself transforms into the universe. And then Ramanujacharya explained it differently, qualified, Vishishta. He explained, Brahman associated with Chit and Achit in the subtle form is the material cause of the universe. So God is there, and this universe like his body. In his subtle form, he manifested this material universe and spiritual also. So this is called modified Brahma Parinamavada. That's called Vishishta Advaita. It's Advaita, but it's Vishishta. Okay, and then Brahman as the basis of the illusory appearance of the universe is material cause. Now this, what I say, Brahman Satyam Jagan Mithya, this material is illusion, is illusory concept of the Brahman. This is called Vivartavada. This is not the object. This is, you're mistaking. You're mistaking this to be, you're mistaking that you are individual, you're mistaking you have form identity, you're mistaking that this is all dualities of material, you're mistaking, actually is only Brahman. So this is called Vivartavada. Mistaking the rope to be a snake. You're mistaking that this is, you are individual, you are jivas are separate from God. No, we are all God. You are mistaken. It's illusion. You understand? So this is the difference. So Vivartavada has, again, different branches are there of this Vivartavada. Mayavadi presentation Vivartavada is ridiculous and dispersed into many versions, 3 of which are very prominent. In a diluted state, Brahman thinks he is Jiva, and thus the Jivas are created. So now what I say, that I'm Brahman, but now I'm thinking, due to illusion, that I'm Jiva, that I'm the individual. But actually we are all one, we are all Brahman. Now this is a big problem, explaining how can Maya overpower Brahman? How can God be in illusion? Why does it happen? There is no explanation. And moreover, there are so many shlokas in Shastra that God is never in illusion. What is that? Sattva, Raja, Tama iti gunasya jiva, naiva me. That these 3 modes, they cover the jiva, they never cover me, Krishna says. No? So you will see, they have their explanation also for that. Yeah? they say that jivas who are not Brahman realized, they are covered. And when Krishna comes, avatars comes, these are jivas, this Brahman who is realized taking form. Because to come in material, to act in material world, you must assume form. So he assumes material form. But whenever he wants, he can deliver himself. That's why he say, gunasya, jiva gunasya, naiva me. This, I'm not covered by others because he is self-realized Brahman. Anytime he can just withdraw his form and drop it down. But all avatars forms are material, avatars lilas are material forms. This is Mayavad. That's why it's called Mayavad. Maya, they say that Krishna lilas, nama, guna, rupa, lila, these are all Maya. Actually Brahman is above that and he's nirakara, rupa, nirguna. You see the problem, a big problem. Because they don't understand parinama. They don't understand that milk can transfer into yogurt. They don't understand that God had expands his energy and expands into material universe, still remain individual. They don't accept it. Second one is jivas are being bewildered reflections of Brahman. Oops. And then that's also a problem. Because if you say that we are all one consciousness, there is a problem. If Brahman is one, correct? If one jiva gets moksha, then all consciousness is awakened. All of us should get moksha automatically. Yeah? If consciousness is one and universal. It cannot be that one part of my brain is conscious, another part is not conscious. How is that? So if consciousness is one, if one jiva gets moksha, all of jivas are getting moksha because we are all one. So how can you explain that consciousness of Brahman splits into many individuals? So to explain this, they brought this reflections of Brahman, and then you have this bimba, pratibimba, and then Shankaracharya introduced new terms which are not even used in Vedas. He introduced, and then Madhvacharya has to defeat all of them one by one. It's very complex. And then they say, third explanation, Brahman is only dreaming that he has created the jivas, and this inferior material universe. It's just dream of the Brahman. It's illusion. Actually, it's not true. All such misconceptions are distortion of Vedic version. So this is what Mayavadis did. But Shakti Parinamavada, that Brahman is certainly detached, independent, immutable. However, in this understanding, the ultimately powerful Achintya Shakti of Brahman, capable of making the impossible possible, transforms partly into Jiva Shakti, partly into illusory Maya Shakti. So this is the definition of Shakti Parinamavada. So according to Shakti Parinamavada, Brahman is not transformed. Rather, it's Brahman's potency which can do impossible things. That is transformed into atomic individual souls, into perverted reflections, that is material world. When Brahman desires, let the individual souls come into existence. Numberless souls are manifested from his potency. When Brahman desires, let the material world come into existence. Material universes without limit are manifested from his potency. These things are not transformation of Brahman. These are diffusions of his different energies. So this is called, so we say Shakti Parinamavada. His Shaktis are diffusing, managing, manifesting, working. Not that Brahman is transformed. No, he remains the same. Nothing happens to him. Shakti Parinamavada. Okay. So here, in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the example, touchstone. Touchstone turns metal and stones into gold and gems, respectively, without itself being transformed in any way. So Bhagavan transforms so many energies into material. From spirit, matter came, so many transformations, but he remains the same. The Supreme creates unlimited material cosmos completely with the 14 planetary system and the innumerable jivas within, simply by his desires, which activates his Achintya Shakti. Yeah? So Prabhupada speaks this. The whole manifestation is the Lord himself by the fusion of his different energies. You see, the whole manifestation is Krishna himself. How? Not that he now became impersonal. No, he is his energies, the fusion of his energies only. Namely, the internal, external, and marginal. These three energies are manifested. Just sunlight is manifestation energy of the sun planet. Such energy is simultaneously one and different from Lord, just as sunshine is simultaneously one different, So this is explained. Prabhupada mentioned again. Creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. Look at this. Again, Prabhupada is pushing. Even this diffusion of energy is not impersonal. Personally, he is present everywhere by the diffusion of his energy. Just like the Prime Minister is present everywhere, in every shop, in every office in India. How? We are paying tax. His law is followed. Correct? So it's not that he is present personally in every shop, but as soon as you buy something, you are obeying his law. You are paying a tax. You are in his relation. He is present. Modi is everywhere present. No, because his laws are obeyed. Okay. So everything is Shakti Parinamavada, Prabhupada said. Everything. This is Shakti Parinamavada. Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma. Everything that we experience, that is manifestation of the energy of Krishna. Sarvedam Akhilam Jagat. Brahmana Shakti. Shakti and Shaktiman, they are not different. So if we accept everything as expansion of Brahmana Shakti, energy of Krishna, and utilize it for Krishna, then there is nothing such thing as material. Everything becomes spiritual. Now, based on this understanding that this is from Krishna and should be used in Krishna's service, we turn matter into spirit back. One flower, Prabhupada said, you pluck it from the tree and smell it, is material. You push you down into repeated birth and death. Same flower, if you offer to Krishna, becomes spiritual. You smell it and you go home back to God. No? So you see, this is how we use everything in Krishna's service. Everything is meant to be used in Krishna service. So this is how we apply Shakti Parinavada, and we understand that God remains individual, personality, Bhagavan, enjoying his leelas, and simultaneously all the creation, expansions, jivas, forms, planetary systems, everything is happening automatically by his desire. Okay, I think, anyway, there are many details there. Yeah, then again he quotes definition of God. He's quote from Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhrigu Muni is asking Varuna, his father, that tell me, instruct me, what is Brahman? And Varuna Dev replied, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayantya abhisam vishanti, tad vijigyasasva tad brahmeti. Very nice definition of God. What is it? The one who is source of all jivas. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. This is Brahman, source of all jivas. The one who maintains them. Yena jatani jivanti. One who maintains them. And the one into whom all jivas enter at the time of total annihilation. Yat prayantya abhisamvishanti. All the jivas will enter back into him. Tad vijigyasasva. That is the subject of your question. Tad brahmet. So now you can see the Acharya has explained this. No? On account of his Achintya Shakti, the Supreme Lord is simultaneously and eternally both personal and impersonal. If only his impersonal aspect is acknowledged, his supreme status and absolute completeness is diminished. The Vedas have described Supreme Absolute Truth as prime doer, his action having three aspects: apadana, source and supplier, that is in the ablative case. From whom? From whom everything generates, from whom jiva is generated, from whom universes are created. So this is first the apadana. Then karana, the cause and instrument. That is the instrumental case. By whom? By whom this is performed? From whom? Whose energy expands? Krishna's? By whom? By him. No? Karana. And adhikarana, the mainstay and support. That is the locative case. In whom? In whom all jivas take shelter. Who maintains everyone? So you see these three aspects are immediately given in this shloka. No? Yato va imani bhutani jayante. Very famous. Yena jatani jivanti. So this is the explanation. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Sorry for long class, but there were some technical issues here. And we'll continue tomorrow, Krishna willing, with shloka 36. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.